Hi everyone, I am Ashwini Seth, CEO and founder of Dennison India, which is one of the top 100 D2C brands. Hi Ashwini, very warm welcome.
Thank you so much, Sakshi.
It'd be great if you can walk us through your journey of Dennison India, how you've changed the workwear fashion industry.
Yeah. So it's a very long journey. Basically, started with my father in 1988. It's been almost now 25 years. The basic agenda that my father started years back, where there was no ready-to-wear apparel market, even there was no fashion market in technically, there was no privatization, but he took up a some challenge, like because he was traveling, we used to have a canteens and we used to supply certain dresses to the army peoples and all over there in the canteens on the borders. So he got this idea because when he used to come back to Gwalior, he used to see his friends are getting it tailored and it's a lot of hard work and having a ready-to-wear apparel was like a big affair. It was more of the people who were into higher societies and all used to buy it. So he just, because he understands the manufacturing concept and all everything, so he got an idea that this can be done into a cheaper, economical way and this was the time he got it and he decided that he's going to start his own brand. So I think in 1988, first May, he launched his brand Dennison India. Dennison basically. India came up in 2017, years back later.
So that's great. So considering the fact that it's like a legacy brand, how do you see the fashion industry changing from a conventional industry to now like a ready fast fashion industry?
Yeah, it's moving. Like it's moving rapidly, and things are changing. The consumer choices are changing. We can see as today, India has the most highest Gen Z population. 360 million people are in India accounted, and it's the highest in the world. And as we know, this Gen Z generation, they are more look towards the niche. They have different requirements. Everyone is looking for different. They want fast fashion. They are looking for different sustainable fashion that I'm talking about. They are very much particular about the choices. So it's not easy to deal with them. But yeah, it's changing rapidly with the demands and the kind of internet has come out. The social media is trending. They're seeing a day by day changing the fashion. How big fashion houses across the world putting up the fashion. People are getting to know about them and they're just ready to try with it. So it's changing.
So you mentioned in your conversation that people are more focused on the sustainability, and I read an article also that you want to scale up the fashion but with keeping sustainability in mind. So how do you think that will shape up this industry and your brand?
So I did a bit of research in 2021, like in the process of putting our vision, what should we do, because we were very much random earlier and we were doing everything. So we wanted to get a little bit focused. It was 2019 when we started focusing on one single line, that was workwear. But we were just thinking like workwear is just basic shirts and basic trousers and basic product available. What new we can do it? The first thing which it came up with was the functionality. Then after like going through the functionality, we got into sustainability. And this thought came up in like 2021, and almost a year research of it, I realized there are some major problems came up, which I started going through the articles, through the internet and all. And I realized one basic thing was everyone was talking sustainability in the terms of carbon footprints, but nobody was talking in terms of water footprints. Because being in India, I have seen in my childhood tankers used to come to get water.
Yes.
And it's a big issue in India.
Considering the population.
Yeah, right. So I personally feel coming 5 to 10 years, it can happen. It's like cotton will replace because it requires a lot of water. Even to grow 1 kg of cotton fiber, you require somewhere around 20,000 liters of water. And so I was just looking through the solutions, what are the solutions to replace this thing. And I did a lot of research in terms of fibers, what are the sustainable fibers we can use. I went through bamboo, aloe vera, banana, then I got introduced to hemp fiber.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of research and I got to know about it in such a way that it requires 1/3 of what cotton consumes in terms of growing a 1 kg of fiber. I think somewhere around, to my latest research, it is somewhere around 3,000 liters of water is required to grow a 1 kg of hemp fiber.
with that non-fluoride?
Well, I'm sure, and it is naturally antibacterial, protects from UV rays. It is the most strongest fiber in the world. It is the fastest biodegradable. I think it's and like if you wash it also, it gets more smoother and more lustrous. So I think this is one of the best fiber one can have, right? And I think it's going to replace cotton in coming years, and should. And also, the point with what happens with cotton is all these farmers are growing cotton. They use a lot of pesticides.
Yeah.
In terms, if you talk about hemp, so it doesn't require any pesticide. It generates the soils. So I think it's just a win-win situation if you start focusing on it. And it is the hour of the need because kind of a water consumption. I've seen a lot of processes also getting shut down just because of the water waste, kind of a pollution they're creating it, kind of a water is required. I think it is an hour of need which everyone as a community needs to think about.
That's a great insight because I think when we wear products, we don't realize what's going behind it. But that's great. So apart from the sustainability point of view, what other challenges do you think are going to impact this industry?
I think supply chain is our biggest challenge, which I have talked to many founders, industry leaders who have been part of processes and all. Even I myself, like for 9 years and now I've been working in the industry. I joined in 2014 business, and I think for the first 5 years, even I don't know what I was doing technically. I was just standing what I used to go to markets and buy it and come and get it manufactured. Like used to get it manufactured maybe 4 months. Sometimes if the manufacturer is not right or something that come up, it has gone to 6, 7 months. You can just understand how much losses we were making it because our money was getting stuck in fabrics, our manufacturing. Even finally, we were not able to what we say that we cannot move the cycle really. Like if you would have sold that product 3 times in a year, having a right manufacturing, a right supply chain, we would have increased our GMV, revenue, profits, and everything. But everything was getting stuck. So this was a major challenge, I think. As an industry, I've talked to everyone. And it's not that it's at a small scale or a bigger scale, but I think it is everywhere because someone who is looking forward to grow, I think we always find a challenge to find the right partner, right manufacturing partner, right supply chain processes and all. It's there.
So supply chain is something that we should focus on.
I think it is very extremely important if you wanted to go understand one basic thing. Like if you're doing a business, you did a certain number of numbers in a year, right? Next year you wanted to grow, like for example, 100% or 200% or maybe 50-60%. You need to increase the capabilities, right? Now you need to find new partners or you want your existing partners to expand their capacities and all. Are they good enough to expand their capacities? Or if you're hiring a new partner or you're increasing a manufacturing, you have a right people who are working with you who can actually take the demand and search and do the production and do the supply chain management piece. I think in India, reliability is a big challenge, a big question right now still.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree because in this industry we face that transparency is a big problem.
Right. Well, like if they say कि sir our sample बन गया है or the production we have dispatched, but then after 5 days you get to know that it has not been dispatched, they've created an invoice.
Yeah.
And still in their warehouse and right. So these things also happen.
Yes, and they I think impact the major timeline of your production, and then it kind of your marketing spends, everything got delayed.
Right.
So talking about the supply chain, how do you think technology can kind of help solving the supply chain or the demand gap? How do you think the technology will help us here?
See, I think technology is an important part. Today, see, if we like take 20 years or 25 years back, we don't have like technology, right? We were just getting into privatization just to make the market open, right? People were not aware about the technologies and all. They were just basics. They used to get the basic softwares of billing and all something. But they may be customer centric, but they were not backward integration. They were not that much centric. They were doing it on papers. They were doing it basic work. They were using more of the humans as an ERP, right? Now this thing has to be somewhere replaced with the technology. In today's scenario, the way AI has come up, right? The GPT. So I think
gonna get it straight.
technology is required in one simple way, like nearby exteriors of Bangalore, or maybe in exteriors of a Gurgaon or somewhere where I can go every day. If the technology is there, that the person sitting over there can update the status, we can see the real-time status and all, right? So it helps us to know when we are going to get shipment, where is that stage of the shipment, so that we can commit to our customers, to our buyers, when it is going to launch. We can plan our campaigns, and we can do a lot of things. But earlier it wasn't there, so we were like, the day we will get it, we will take the next. But today we can take the fast forward decision like 20 days back. See what we can do. So I think technology will change the game every day. Like I'm sure like people are talking about these days about metaverse. Like right now we are having these physical apparels. I think maybe 4 to 5 years down the line, people will be just wearing a digital collection and roaming around the metaverse, going for offices and meeting up, getting up. There's going to be there a lot of things going to change in the next 5 years.
Yeah, let's see what all is there in this industry. Also, like apart from technology, what other changes or what do you think? What's your prediction for this industry? That what other changes gonna come up?
I think right now, if I think about fashion, I think e-commerce as in digital first brands will boom up for next 10 years. I'm sure this industry will grow almost to 800%. To my understanding, to recent data research, I have got to know it. Because if people will not get streamlined, the technology they will not be using it, I'm sure they're going to lose a lot of business. They will lose a lot of competition to big businesses, big houses, and you need to be updated with the technology. You need to use technology into your production, into your design, into delivery, into everything end to end. Because if you don't do it, and why is the reason I'm talking about it? The basic thing which starts is from the customer. Once your customer makes a demand, you have a data that this product is selling. If you don't put that into a replenishment, right? And how we get in it? Now this over that. When I talk about replenishment, how we get to know? Because from the data analysis, you need to have a tech which tells you that this product is power selling. You need to make more of it, or you need to make similar designs to it. So your designer, your machinizer goes back to the manufacturing or design team, and they create more products, and on the other side they make a replenishment. Now again you need a tech on this part, a production tech where you put these designs, you create your bombs and all everything, and then it again pushed forward for the manufacturing, and you make sure that you get it done in like next 25 days of replenishment. If it's a new design or development, it should be get done in like maximum 30 to 25 days.
That's the
I think so when people talk about fast fashion, I think the fast B is important. It's not about fast fashion. I think fast fashion is going to get dumped in next 2 or 3 years or maybe 4 years. Because as I told you, the Gen Z is they will understand this thing up because they are more environmental conscious. They are more sustainable focused and all right. Once they start realizing that and they are more educated towards it, I think it may change. It may be. Let's see.
That's open-ended. So any other inputs that you have? Also, like the D2C space is coming up, and Dennison has won a lot of awards. So how do you think that this D2C space, the e-commerce platforms that are coming up, how is that going to help?
I think D2C space is going to grow rapidly, and I think there's a big future for it. The competition also, I think every day there are a lot of D2C brands are coming, but there are a lot of D2C brands who are getting shut down also because of the profitability. So I think D2C as a space will grow, and people as in entrepreneurs, founders will have to be a bit smart in terms of costing, pricing, what they're offering to their customers, what they're promising. These days, I personally find there are very few brands who focus on the post-sales. Once the money is in, if the customer is calling for the return, it's extremely challenging to return a product right now also for a D2C. But if you go on a marketplace, it's the easiest. Right, so I have seen a lot of customers who come onto our website, but they sometimes buy because of the fear. Right. So first thing when we were launching our D2C, we made sure that our return process should be so streamlined that this should be a single or second click away, and you can make it. Because being in apparel, there are a lot of fits problem and all, but right. So this is where another thing which at Dennison we did was functionality. So we try to bring the flexi-based, auto-fit-based, stretchable shirts, quick dry, water repellent, right? So we did a lot of research works, and so that low maintenance products can be there, right? Then understanding the challenges. Like if you all go to the parties and all somewhere to offices, and sometimes it happens, spill issues comes and all, and you have to rush back to it, and everything gets messed up at that point, right? And suddenly if I'm wearing a sub product which is in the empty state, but still being 100% comfortable, right? So you just okay, that state doesn't come up, right? You say that things. It may be like if you're on the field, you're working, the sweat issues are there, skin issues are there. That's the reason we launched antibacterial, Myntra, and all these products. Waist issues are there because body shapes keeps on changing.
Post-COVID,
right?
there is an extreme feature.
So we just don't want to sell product. We just wanted to people have a sense of understanding why they are buying this product. Because like white shirt, maybe एक जगह मिल रहा है white shirt, एक मेरा white shirt मिल. Just make a simple difference in that inside India state it's a white shirt. So people may give a preference to my product.
Definitely. I mean, all these small things, I think they matter because when you're spending money, people are aware these days of where they're spending. So that's great. Lastly, I want to just ask that what is the future plan for Dennison? What are the categories you plan to bring?
So we are primarily a workwear brand.
Yeah.
We'll be scaling up into men's workwear for surely. We have a lot of gaps still, and I personally feel women's workwear is a big gap still, and needs to be explored extremely as women are getting career, women workforce will be increasing, and the demand for women's workwear will be increasing. I think this is surely a big gap which everyone in the industry will be looking forward for, and I think already brands have figured it out and worked on it. So this space will be like available for next 6 months or 8 in India, and surely we'll be exploring more into sustainable. We'll be expanding to sustainable, and then categories like plus size fashion. Where a year back we started with shirts, we'll be getting into bottom wear, we'll be getting into lot of others categories to plus sizes, then getting into a bit of fast fashion also we have in reviews and channel, and with keeping a vision in our mind, we just not need to be focused on one thing. We need to like I wanted to Dennison maybe after 20 years or 30 years, I want to think Dennison as a fourth wall. A fort where everything consists of, right? If your consumer is coming, because what happens is like example, so just take an example of your life. You may be working like today you want to wear a workwear apparel, so you're the sort of Dennison, right? But tomorrow you're traveling also with the family, and also you may be traveling. You want to something have a different cloth and something different. Like you may go to a different brand, but like if I'm giving the same expertise, same design, quality, and everything, why not? Because you'll be building a relation with the brand. So this is one, and this is all about creating that moat, I would say. And so I want to make it a more of cross-selling and increasing the business, because what happens sometimes, what is also happening is this category is getting slowed down, but you have different categories, and having an expertise, it's not that that brand can only have a one expertise; they can have a multiple expertise. I think all the big brands have a, like if you talk about H&M, Zara, and every these brands are they have workwear, they have fashion, they have everything.
So it has to be a one-stop solution.
One-stop solution.
That's great. So you have given me great insights about this industry. Thank you so much for this elaborated discussion, Ashwini.
And thank you so much.